Where you headed to, Mr. Wilson?
Heading to Santa Cruz this afternoon.
Why?
One of the staff here at the school needs to go to the hospital in Santa Cruz.
What happened?
A bug went in her ear, and after that she had worms or maggots inside her ear, and the doctors in the hospitals up here aren't taking good care of her. So she needs better care.
Very good. Have a good flight, sir.
Thank you. Here I'm in Santa Cruz at the hangar at Advenir. Yesterday afternoon we made a medical flight from Guayaquil, Bolivia to here. We were carrying one of the staff from the school near Guayaquil. She had an ear problem, and what it was while she was giving class one day, some sort of fly flew into her ear, and evidently while it was in there it laid eggs, and the eggs hatched and she had maggots or larvae in her ear, and they had eaten through her eardrum into her middle ear, and there was an ear doctor. They took her to the hospital, and there was an ear doctor at the hospital in the city of Riberalta, which is not far from Guayaquil. But they weren't taking good care of her, and so we brought her down here to Santa Cruz, and basically the nurse from the school that traveled with her and has been looking after her and taking care of her said that the doctor had said that if it had been left, those maggots would have eaten their way up into her brain, and usually that would be if it's not treated, it would be fatal. Why is it advantageous to have an airplane based in northern Bolivia? There are a number of reasons. In regards to medevac flights, the more advanced hospitals with more equipment and more specialized doctors are in the bigger cities. So the people here in Santa Cruz don't call for the airplane to fly them to Santa Cruz because they're already in Santa Cruz. So with that in mind, the calls where medevac flights come from a lot of them come from northern Bolivia. And if you have the airplane in northern Bolivia, you can respond faster because the airplane is located where the medevac calls come from. Another benefit would be the medevac flights can be cheaper. Sometimes they make requests for medevac flights to places like Cobija. Cobija is the capital of the northernmost department of Bolivia. It's only about 200 nautical miles from Guayaquil. So you could make a medevac flight from Guayaquil to Cobija and back, and you only fly 400 miles. Whereas if the airplane was down here in Santa Cruz, for example, you would end up flying about 1,000 miles to make that 400-mile round trip medevac flight. So you can see 400 miles versus 1,000 miles. That's a lot cheaper in the end, and a lot faster. Faster is another benefit that I mentioned earlier, because some of the reasons why it's faster is because in most of the airports in northern Bolivia, there are no runway lights, so you can't land and take off when it's dark. And the few airports that do have runway lights, you would have to make prior arrangements ahead of time. The controllers in the control towers usually go home after sundown, so nobody's in the control tower to turn the lights on for you. So if you're here, if you happen to have the airplane here in Santa Cruz and you get a call for a medical emergency after about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, basically you have to make it up there, land, fuel, take off again. So if basically after about 1 o'clock, usually that'd be the absolute latest, and everything would have to work perfectly. If the call comes after that, you basically just have to say, sorry, you're gonna have to wait till the next day because they won't let me fly up there. Air traffic control will not let me fly up there. So you can respond faster. If it's an urgent medical emergency, and you tell them they have to wait for the next day, it may not be good news for that patient.